Hey guys, Chris with Tillman Family Farms. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And if you haven't done so, please go down and like and subscribe. Ring that bell so you see all the videos that we put out. All right, today I want to talk about something that I see tons and tons of questions on. People ask me questions, people ask questions on videos, in pastured poultry pages and pastured pig pages. I see tons of debates and what's the best and why do you use this and you know, where do you get it and how good does it do. So today we're going to talk about solar fence chargers. Okay, I get tons and tons of people that just say, oh, solar's not the way to go, especially if you're doing pigs, blah 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 blah. Well, I got news for you. I keep pigs in solar chargers from the time that they're weaned until the time that they go to the butcher. So what I like to talk to you about, so we have several different chargers on this property, and we've been using solar chargers for about 4 years now, I guess. We started using them long before we got on YouTube and did all this other stuff. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the chargers that we use, and I'm going to tell you what I think about each individual one and what I feel like our preferences are moving forward. So hang with us and we'll check out the chargers. I'm going to show you these guys over here that are getting nice and ready to go to the processor. Every now and again these guys get a little treat and they're jockeying for position, but they're getting pretty close. Some of these guys have a date this month. And can't wait. We'll process, I think, 5 this month and then another 4 or 5 in June. So anyhow, back to solar chargers and electric fencing. All right, so some of you guys that watch our channel quite a bit know that we use Starkline electric fence netting. We do also use Premier One that we had bought previously. So this section right here is 264-foot lengths of fence. Now this first charger that we're going to talk about is going to be very familiar to a lot of people if you've looked at anything. This is the charger that comes from Premier One. We've had it for, this is going to be 2 years with it, I think. But and don't ask me how it left the chickens and came to the pigs. I'm not sure what we were doing when all these things got swapped around, but anyhow, it is a great charger. It always puts out a really nice charge, and as you can see, I was in a hurry, and this is just a piece of chain link fence post, and that's a ground clip on it. I like this charger because it comes with these clips for the power and the ground. So it's not temperamental to ground. You know, with pigs, you get a lot of this. You get a lot of this. They push it up against the netting, and it'll ground the fence out. So I think that these chargers from Premier One are a great choice if you're going to use them, or if you're looking at them. I don't think you can go wrong using these chargers. So that is one of the chargers that we have. We are going to move on to the next one. Great charger, recommend it to anybody. Real quick before I move on, I would like to clear up a myth about this charger. As you can tell, this looks like a battery box, right? So this charger has a metal bracket on the bottom of it that sticks in the ground. A lot of people have a crazy misconception. Are you, can I help you? Thanks. A lot of people have a crazy misconception that that metal bracket on the bottom of this battery box is a ground for the electrical system. That is incorrect. That piece of metal does not connect to this electrical system at all. Slides in a plastic bracket on the bottom of that box and sticks in the ground. That's all it does. So yes, if you're not using a ground rod with this particular charger, it is not grounded. All right, so here we are at another pig paddock. This guy is in here by himself. He's been our boar for quite some time. He is actually going to be moving on before too long, but another situation, the same amount of fencing that we just looked at for those 10 feeders up there on the hill, different charger. Let me show you this charger and talk to you a little bit about it. We actually have a few of these and one on order, and I'll tell you why. All right, guys, so this is a Gallagher S20. It's a small unit, and it's not as powerful. We actually have an S40 that is on order, but this one too comes with both of these that have clips to them. Now, let me tell you one of the biggest reasons why I like this charger, okay? Let me show you where this ground's at. So this thing will slide on the top of a T-post. Look where that ground's at. Nothing special. I mean, you just drive it in there. I mean, you can look at the bottom of this T-post and you can tell it's not in the ground very far, but it is not temperamental to ground, and you can clip it on right there. And then the other one, you just clip it onto the fence, or you can clip it onto the little metal things where these fences connect. But this little charger, when we first got it, I don't know if this is, I don't know which one this is. We have several of these, but anyhow, it was a really great charger from the very beginning. Probably one of my favorites. And you know, every time that these pigs get into these fences, you know, it's put together really well. It's a pulsing fence. You can see the green light flashing off and on there. But when the fencing is grounded out, it will flash red then green, red then green, red then green. So it's really, really easy to tell when you have a problem. I came into these videos lacking a little bit of information. I can't remember how many joules these things put out. That's a lot of what you're going to hear when you talk about fence chargers is how many joules and how well it'll pop them and all that stuff. So that's one of the biggest debates between a plug-in charger and a solar charger. But I'm going to tell you, if you train pigs especially to electric fencing as piglets when they're in the weaning process before you move them out to pasture, you're not going to have any problems at all. They will respect the fence, whether it's a single strand, two strands, or whether it's this netting like we use. They're going to respect it, and these chargers right here work great for that. No problems at all. This is going to be one of the top ones on the list for me as far as what I would recommend to anybody. You can actually put together your own combinations. These Gallagher Chargers are reasonably priced. They've gone up a little bit here, like everything else in the world lately, but they are reasonably priced. And if you put them together with some Starkline netting, or maybe one of these other off-brand netting companies, you can get what you need for relatively inexpensively to get you going. So that's a Gallagher S20. Gallagher's the company, S20 is the model. Great charger. Go out and buy one today. That's how much I like them. All right, so the next charger that I want to talk to you guys about is it's what you can buy at Tractor Supply. On this particular one, it says American Farm Works. I think, and I don't know this for a fact, but I think that the company Zebra out there, that is another charger on the market, they look identical. The stickers are the same colors. They just got a different name on them. So I think that this one and the Zebras are probably the same charger, made by the same manufacturer, and they've just been branded differently. So I have mixed reviews about this brand, okay? This was probably one of the first brands that we used because, you know, every time you go to Tractor Supply, they're right there on the shelf staring at you, and they weren't terribly priced either. So the first one that we bought, which I'm going to take you guys out and show it to you in just a minute, but this one is it's a 5-mile fence, okay? So that's what it's supposed to cover, 5 miles worth of one strand of electric wire. And you got to take that into consideration too. Now, if it says 5 miles, it's talking about one strand. It's not talking about 5 miles of electric fence netting that's got all this wire that goes up and down, sideways, cross-eyed, and all this other stuff. So so number one, when I bought it, thought it was great. It did everything that I wanted it to do until I bought one of these other ones that came with all this stuff. Okay, so this one, it did not have a wire to connect from the charger to the fence. It did not have a wire to connect from the ground to a ground rod. So it's already lacking right there, right off the bat. It does have a light on it that says fence okay. It only flashes red, and it doesn't give you any signal that would tell you that your fence is grounded somewhere or anything like that. I've had this fence have a log laying on it and it was still flashing red. So that tells me that where it says fence okay is not right, because it was 100% grounded out with these big limbs laying on this wire and pushing it to the ground. This particular paddock is our farrowing paddock. We push pigs in here and let them breed, and then we'll let them stay in here till they farrow, and they'll stay in here until piglets are weaned, and then they get moved out. But I had problems with ground rods on this smaller unit. I ended up making a ground rod, which I'll show you here in just a minute. Just welded up some rebar and a little plate across the side of it, but it works, but it takes a little work to get it to work like you want it, get it dialed in and get it tuned in. It's not like a Gallagher that you just put it on a T-post and you clip some things up and it's ready to go. So let me show you this one a little bit closer, and then we'll move on to the next one. All right, so there it is. What I did, so I took an alligator clip and made myself a clip to my wire. So that's how I've got my power going to my single strand on the inside of this. And then this is just a strand of bare number 12 copper wire, okay? So it is screwed down tight under here, and then it goes all the way down to this fancy ground rod that I made myself. And it's just got a little plate right there. Ooh, out of focus. Got a little plate right there that I've got a loop in the wire, and it's bolted down. So that is a regular ground rod right there behind it. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's probably a 6-foot ground rod. And that is a ground clamp. I had problems with that. I could not get this fence to ground. It wouldn't shock, it wouldn't read or anything like that. And I ended up doing this ground rod and was able to dial it back in. So you know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. So it's probably a little temperamental to ground, but that is this smaller unit. We have a bigger unit that I have better things to say about, because it's done what it's supposed to do for a long time. So let's go look at that one real quick. All right, so here we go. So this is American Farm Works. Bought this one at Tractor Supply. We set this charger up on our front split rail fence because the split rail fence is older, and you can tell, you can look down through there, the cows and horses have leaned on it and things like that in the past. So it was susceptible to tear up and break and all that stuff. So what we did was we put 3 runs of electric wire on the inside of this fence all the way down, and we powered them with this charger. This is a 10-mile charger, okay? You can see it's got the same blinking red light. This one called for a bigger ground. So this has got a, I can't remember what size this was. Let's say it's a number 6 wire. And then it asked for a series of ground rods. So there's a ground rod. And I want to say there were 3 of them. Where's the other one at? Oh man, where'd it go? It's here somewhere. Anyhow, oh, there it is. So so there's another one. I want to say there's another one too, but anyhow. So this one is very, very well grounded, and it just has a place on the bottom for the ground wire, place on the bottom for the power wire, and I'm gonna tell you, this thing has worked great. It's been out here probably at least 4 years. I tested it the other day. The battery in it does need to be replaced, but that is the first problem that it has given us. So like I said, so this American Farm Works, I have mixed reviews. The smaller one has been temperamental to ground. This larger one, not so much, but it also called for a lot larger grounding system. So my opinion, this one works pretty well, hadn't had many problems, and I would recommend it. Just follow the instructions to the T. So all right, so I know you guys have been waiting on it, and you want to hear the bad part of that. So I've given you the good, the kind of bad, and now we're gonna go out and look at the ugly. And I love this company, but they have some work to do on their solar chargers. Let's go out and take a look at it, and I'll tell you all the reasons why I think that they need to work on this design. All right, so we're out here with our pastured egg layers, which they're all thinking I've brought them some kind of treat or something like that. But anyhow, so this is about the same length of netting that we have the pigs in, so it's 2 sections, 164 feet. This charger is made by Starkline, okay? We use a lot of their electric fence netting, and we actually have a really good relationship with them. They gave us a discount code to give to our viewers and some other things like that. So no complaints about the company, but this charger it's lacking some things, okay? It seems like every other time I come to this charger, there's some kind of grounding problem. Let me show it to you, and then I'll go back into some of the things that I think definitely have got to happen for this thing to become a better charger for them and for them to be competitive using this model. All right, so all of the stuff for this one is on the back, okay? It does have a light, which this one is blinking fine right now. It will flash red, green, red, green, red, green if it's grounded out somewhere, which is all the freaking time. But anyway, it's got a switch right here. It's got the wire that you can clip to the fence, which you see right there. And then this ground, it has a hole that you push the wire up through, and then you tighten this down on, which is not bad. It's not a bad thing at all. It comes with this ground rod, okay? So right here where it bolts up, this ground wire is a little bit crappy. The eyelet that goes around it is not very sturdy, and it immediately tore up when I did this. So I have since done some things to change this around to make this more useful. This ground rod being smooth like it is and not very long, when you push it in the ground, especially if it's rained a fair amount, which is odd sometimes because grounds normally do pretty good when the ground is wet. But if you can reach down and take this thing and twist it in the ground, it's not working very well. I've tried another ground rod or two, and this charger is just extremely temperamental to ground. I mean, you know, grass can lay on this thing and it'll be flashing that it's got a grounding problem. So like I say, I work on this thing all the time. It's got a nice panel on the front of it, but it's for whatever reason it is so temperamental to ground, and I just don't know why. I haven't been able to figure it out. I've talked to Starkline about it through email, and you know, they kept telling me it's your ground, fix your ground, fix your ground, fix your ground. Well, yes, but my other chargers will clip on to that T-post right there with no grounding problems at all. So I would never buy another one of these. This one actually came with a kit. We were looking to get another poultry set going, and we were becoming friends with Starkline. We did some videos, and they saw them and reached out to us, and So like I say, no problems at all with the company. They stand behind their stuff and all sorts of things like that. But this charger is just not worth the headache that you'll have to deal with it. I use it right now out here because all this grass is short and I can stretch these fences out nice and keep them nice and tight and keep the grounding issues down to a minimum. But if I were I would never in a million years put this thing on pigs. But that is how I feel about this particular charger. Do not recommend this charger. Do not buy this charger. So guys, that's going to do it for this one. It's getting late in the afternoon and I'm going to wrap this thing up. Just a real quick review. So we looked at the Premier One charger, great charger, would recommend it to anybody. The next ones we looked at were Gallagher Chargers, great chargers, would recommend them to anybody. That charger is actually what we intend to buy moving forward for all of our electric fencing needs, is Gallagher Chargers. The other ones was American Farm Works from Tractor Supply. Mixed reviews there. Some of them work pretty well and some of them do not. So mixed reviews. If you're looking for a quick fix and something that you can go pick up on the shelf, Tractor Supply stocks them every day. The last one was Starkline. Starkline's got some work to do. Great company, but they need to work on this charger. But that's fence chargers, solar fence chargers anyway. I hope that this has been helpful. Like I say, there's a lot of people that have asked me a lot of questions about these, and I just wanted to put out there what I know and what our experiences have been with what we have. So if you have any questions or anything like that, you know, leave a comment down there and I'll get to them as fast as I can. I'll probably also go in and do some links to Gallagher and the Premier One stuff so that you'll have an outlet to find them real quick, just point and click. But anyhow, other than that, that's going to wrap it up for this one. I appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please go down and do so, and we'll see you on the next video.